Hello and good afternoon. It's Tuesday and we're back on another stream to try and get this mace completed. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit more detail on here. Right, so we've got to do 12 of these babies. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to measure out what I need. So we're going to basically do 3mm by 3mm by 3mm squares to start off with. Hope you're all well. It's a lovely Tuesday afternoon here. Right, so that's one. So we've got to do. We've got one. We've got to do 12 of these babies. There's going to be a lot of gremlin to be involved. We've got to do 12 of these. Little 2, 4. We've got to do another lot now. So I'm just using a bit of an old cut of 10mm EVA foam, high density, and just going to make you done one, and just going to make you literally outline. Outline each one like so. I'm going to do like a mass production of these babies, and then once we basically do that, we can actually come and get something else done. Right, so that's 6, 6, 5. We'll do this on here. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take these all over to the belt sander and then turn to circular. trouble wearing my. Right, so that's all done. That's all scrapped. Get tidied up. So I'm supposed to do some housekeeping. So we're going to tidy these up now. So we're on episode 5 now of this remake. Look, that's through everywhere. Excuse me. Two more to go. It's very repetitive. Anyway. over. Right, hot air gun. So what we need to do is actually just curve them a bit and basically glue them into place, and then we're done. And that's like the last of the detail on the mace head. All I need to do now is actually put like the do the detail on the actual handle now. Well, we have to do. We have to. Hello there, fine dwarven arts. Yeah, Gremlin is like, you know, your tool, your best buddy. It really is. You know, you have to get it done. And a hot air gun. Gremlin. Well, it has to be done. You know, how on earth am I going to basically bevel all this? The Gremlin travel. I like that, it's quite good actually, you're right actually. There is a lot of Gremlin, you know. There is definitely a lot of Gremlin, I quite agree with you. And hot air gun thing. Usually what I do is, if I pre-prep everything before I go on stream, so all you just see is like a little bit of Gremlin and then gluing on it. So if you've got any like little bits that, if you've got any bit like cracks in it, for example, you can see that. All we need to do is just heat it up a bit, and these will go away. You can just see a little bit of sort of, you know, splits in there. So just wave the hot air gun. I'm not doing this on the. I don't want to sort of like leave these, have these sitting here, and suddenly me sort of burning the table. So that's why I basically have it up in the air to actually do each individual coal or detail. Now what I do is you're going to hold that, excuse my hands, they're dirty. Now just hold that just for a second. It's cooling down now. And that will give us a nice smooth finish and look for painting it. And of course, like the hot air gun, will actually get rid of the swarf that comes from the old belt sander. This is like mass foam production, this is. You know, EVA foam's the lifeblood to any cosplay. Unless you're basically good at sewing, which I'm actually, totally, to be honest, I'm actually shit at. I'm not even going to attempt to have a go at sewing. As much as I would like to have a sewing machine, but you know, it's going to be like a white elephant. If I buy a sewing machine, say like 90 to 100 quid, and suddenly it doesn't get used, right, it's a waste of money. One more to do. Not basically gone down, curved a bit. No, yeah, well, yeah. What I'm saying is, right, that's one weakness I can't do for cosplay. Actually, sew. It's one thing, you know. I know a lot of cosplayers have got a sewing machine, and you know, they're good at it. So I have to, so with like the stuff for Deathwing, I have to actually give it to another cosplayer and actually pay her, give her some. I supply the material, and she does the sewing for me. I give her 60 quid, and she can actually buy a round of cocktail with a sort of a gothy sort of witch's covered mace. You know, she'll do another bit of sewing for me for Lady Deathwing. I've got to get the cloak done. I get the material, she'll do the sewing. I mean, in the sense of sewing, I can actually sew, you know, darn my socks or sew a button, but not do a full blown cloth. Not sort of like, you know, yeah, I could get a pattern and actually, you know, design a pattern, actually cut it out and able to do it that way. Because it's going to be in a total of bullshit if I try to actually stitch together. So, you know, just basically do that one. Perfect. Right, so they're all good to go, guys. Right, so I'm going to basically turn these all over. Right, some of them I haven't sort of bent a bit more. Let's just do that one just quickly. Well, I must say this is better than basically sitting at home zoning on the TV. I've done a lot today. I've done a lot in the garden this morning. And I must go and get my hair cut. It's actually friggin' awful. Last time I got my hair cut was before Christmas. It's supposed to have it cut after Christmas, but the lockdown happened and all the hairdressing salons were all shut. And I don't want to cut it myself. if this was like CF65 or CF45 foam, which is a lower density, right, this will basically literally doesn't need a lot of heat to done because it's quite flexible, the CF100, and of course it doesn't sort of if you cut it, it doesn't sort of take a lot of the sort of bubbles around it. You have to go around with the Dremel. There's a lot of Dremelin involved in this. That's the only thing, you know. Right, so okay, so we've got those out of the way. So they're all ready to be glued on. If I can find the glue, where did I put it? Oh shit, it's on the table. Right, glue time. Let me get my squeegee. Right, after this we finish the mace head. This is the last bit, and then next drop we do the handle. This is easy, this is the easiest bit. And I think this is basically good, not sticking to temperature. Right, see where we're going to go with this. So we are going to go in the middle, around about there. Let's put the camera up. Right, so we've got 3 on each side, so I've done 12 of these babies. A bit more liquid. Now I've basically got that one to place, and I can actually literally mark out where I want to glue the second one. So expecting to have sort of certain glue points, and you know to mark it out. I know it's a bit OCD, but well, my art teacher used to say to me, attention to detail. When I was at working, it's like my appraisal was like attention to detail. And if I was doing this for somebody a paid commission, right, then I basically would go out complete artisan detail, basically no expense spared. He or she would actually be absolutely overjoyed like a costume. It's basically, you know, it's going to basically look perfect. I'm just using the talent that I should not waste, you know. There's a lot of people I know who mucked about in art classes at school. I didn't, I just cracked down on it. I've got a bit of a problem over here. On my pauldrons, one of the dragon's horses come off. It came cleanly off, it just basically came away, so I have to re-glue that on. It's a pain in the arse though, but that's another repair job. So I wanted to get Deathwing already correct and do another test fit on the cosplay, which I actually might do online. I'll actually do a stream on that, me getting ready to go as Deathwing. Right, let's just see where we are. Hang on, just have a look. So I need to try and get these two marry up as best I can. Right, so I know where the next one's going. And before we paint, what we'll do is, I think I'll do some detailing with the wood burning tool, make some sort of burn scars, trace all the way down here. So it looks a bit plain at the moment with this 3 mil sitting there. So decided to basically do a think about that. Detail is important. Well, to be honest, when I went up for my photo shoot, I just basically go back to be right back. When I went to my photo shoot, right, my photographer helped me on with it. I gave him instructions to actually where the polders went, right. That took me about half an hour to put on. You know, try not to actually rush everything, right. So I've actually done I actually did a Instagram IGTV probably last year when I was getting it all ready. Now I basically got I got some orange face paint, which is basically going to highlight these scars here. I'm going to basically make out some scars out of FX wax, right? Which I've got a spatula and everything like that. So I'm going to go and paint those orange. So basically going to go under the eyes with the contact lenses in. I'm going to whole hog. I'm going to hold back. I'm going to basically like hold back. You know, I reckon it's cost me about 400 to 500 quid this lot. You know, this would be about the same price if I did for commission. Once, right, I put the photographs on my DeviantArt website, right? Okay, I put the photographs of the photo shoot of my Deathwing on DeviantArt, and what happened was, someone actually asked me if they could actually borrow my cosplay. No, it's quite simple to put all this together. It's just that the pain in the arse to actually put on. Yeah, to borrow it. You know, as much as I'd like to, but do I get it back intact though? Do I have to actually do a load of repairs that it's been damaged? I mean, okay, it's foam, but foam, you know. Yeah, you wanted to borrow it. I didn't reply though. Well, if my friend said, "Oh, can I borrow you know, have you got a cosplay?" You go, "Well, I've got 2." The joy of actually making something out of foam and then actually shaping it and start to what your design is absolutely amazing. It just basically relaxes me, it does. I would actually be on earlier, but you know, because I've got house stuff to do, I have to do that first and have lunch and maybe do this for about, you know, till I get to lunch, till I get to dinner time tonight. maybe I might do a painting stream in the evening of some pieces. You know, on I mean, virtually basically all the painting gets done as soon as like, the crafting's done. What happens is when you basically realise that something, you know, you don't like the look of, right? It might be a waste of money to some people. Like, oh god, this breastplate looks shit. You know, so right, okay, let's do it again. Well, the other, I mean, as I said, like the free hugs thing is that we have to basically high fives, but not free hugs because I don't want my armour to be crushed. Please respect my finished work and other cosplayers. Yeah, a lot of cosplayers are sort of, you know, conscientious about people touching their props or their costume. I mean, a while back, there's a photograph I've got of two cosplayers, right? One's dressed as Alex Strazia from World of Warcraft. The other one was dressed as Syndra Goes. It's the same year Jessica Negri brought Syndra Goes out at Katsacom in 2017. So I got a photograph with them two together, right? Waiting my turn. It's before I even did cosplay. Well, I thought of the idea of actually starting it, and she's got her my friend Ellen Hardy, right? She's one on my Instagram. Ellie Hardy cosplayers, right? She you know, she had her boyfriend as her cosplay handler, and this French woman brushed past her pauldrons, right, and nearly sheared them off because the size of the pauldrons had like was foam frames, very thin, covered in warbler, and it had like a blue lenses, but it's got LED shining from them, right? And this woman did not apologise. It happened to me before with Putris, my first Putris, a Harry Potter cosplay with one of the bone attachments off my pauldrons. Luckily I was able to secure it back on. I'll be really annoyed if somebody actually damaged my cosplay. You know, every time I went on the Comic Con to the pub, I have to say, white armour coming through, guys. Yeah, trouble is, when I first did Putris, I made a right mistake of using the wrong material. I didn't know about ep5, so I read up about it. And it just stemmed from there, really. I mean, people at the esports pub, right, you know, they ask me, goes, oh, you know, how do you get to make costumes like that, Andy? I'm not being big-headed, guys, but, you know, I do get people asking me questions. They go, well, you get some EVA foam, you need a Dremel, you need a hot air gun, you need hot glue or contact adhesive, right? You need a good marination. If you get like you know, what you should do is actually try and make pauldrons by shaping around like your mannequin and all that, because they're going to be, you know, you're not going to be right, because if you basically get a pauldron pattern, right, then you're, you know, that's to start you off. That's your foundation stone. Right, touch wood, this hasn't sort of, nothing's come off or broken. There we are. There's a burn from the hot air gun a couple of days ago. Yeah, if you get patterns downloaded from Patterns cosplay, right, then you've got no problem because she basically like sells. She basically shares her resources to to sell, at $4.99 or about £3.50 in my money, right? And I tell you what, her having these patterns for like sort of making breastplates, pauldrons, braces and all that has really helped me tremendously to get this done. Basically, it's either that, you've got to try and actually mould it yourself and all that. I mean, with the Deathwing breastplate for both my one, it's like, a plate metal pattern and just basically adapted. I think it was about 2 days work that took me just to basically put all the stuff together. I've got to get this mace finished in the sense that I've got a Comic Con in 2 Comic Cons in July. One at the anime convention where I won 3 tickets from, which are basically still valid. I spoke to the organisers the other day and told them about it. Look, I won these tickets to the Cosplay Masquerade in 2019. Are they still valid? Right, because there's no Comic Cons in 2020. He goes, yes they are, just tell her what event you want to go to. So I got 2 tickets, one for my cosplay handler, aka photographer, and one for me. And there's a cosplay masquerade on the Saturday as well, £100 you can win. I've already won 30 quid. But it's brilliant if you basically go into it's good if you go onto if you go into a masquerade, it's absolutely fun. I was dreading. I mean, a friend of mine, we were helping her to make a League of Legends cosplay, right? A female. Well, she wanted Pike from League of Legends, right? That's a male character, but she didn't want it to be a female. She didn't want to gender swap it. She wanted it to be a male character. So we've gone all the lengths to actually make everything for it, right? And she said to me, "Oh, well, I might need you to help me to dress." I goes, "Well, I can't. If I'm going as Deathwing, how can I actually help you to get dressed at the hotel if I'm basically in full Deathwing?" So I said, "You have to get someone else." And we did actually try to teach her to actually how to build stuff, you see. Unfortunately, she actually moved. She actually moved, unfortunately, to Spain, I think. So what happens is, if I have a problem with something that's basically not going right with what I am building, I think it basically comes, an idea comes to me in my sleep, right? And I still got that thought in my head when I wake up in the morning, going, that's the way to do it. Excellent, let's try that, and it works. And when we did that photo shoot at the churchyard in just out the road from me, right? Because the guy needed the money because he's a photographer. He was all his wedding photography was cancelled. Okay, so he had the equipment, proper equipment, not just a camera phone, and we basically took the car up to like outside the car park. I got ready, right? Just the amount of people were looking at us. We had to basically. I thought, I thought, God, Bennett, ask permission to take photographs. Don't just fucking take photographs. I'm fed up with people taking photographs without my permission. Seriously, I'm not being fussy, but the thing is, you don't do it to cosplayers. No bloody way. You've got to have some sort of respect. Cosplay is not consent for like take unauthorized photographs without permission. Photo bombing, photo sniping I can't stand. Spoil it for everybody else. Right, okay, we're nearly there with this. Right, let's just basically go and spread this glue. I remember there's a cosplayer in California called Ivy Doom Kitty. She's a lovely lady, right? She loves cats. She makes cupcakes. She basically looks after, supports like the cats charities, right? She's a belly dancer, and she did this amazing Betty the Rocketeer based on Betty Page. I think the time I met her was at the London Film Comic Con in 2014. She was dressed as like a female version of Assassin's Creed main character. Well, I can't stand that. I mean, we had a problem. It was up in Birmingham, right? It was all across like the Facebook page from the MCN. Now, some guy is about 60 something is going around with a GoPro, right, taking upskirts of cosplayers. So all these girls who like dressed as like Sailor Moon characters, Lolita, right? For God's sake, right, put some cycle shorts like under your skirt. Don't show your knickers. And this guy got arrested actually. Guy got pulled by security. They had actually phoned the old bill, the police. Bingo. I hate that when that happens. There's a photograph of my friend with this girl cosplaying Apocalypse Res Sonia, right? With a chainmail bikini top and the skirt and all that, right? And I looked at the photographs. I thought, my God, grabby hands or what? It was like grabby hands, like you could see it. I thought, I mean, okay, she's a well-known cosplayer, right? She gets used to it. She's like, public celebrity. But, other cosplayers will basically find out, annoying. And her friend who comes from Northampton, right? She done a really good cosplay photo shoot of one of the girls from Benny Benassi. Satisfaction video. mean, last year in 2019's MCN, right, they had the security was handed the MCN with Jawas and stormtroopers. Move along there, you know. It's brilliant. You know, that's extra security at the Comic Con. Had a load of stormtrooper cosplayers helping you out. I remember somebody even did a dance routine with like the mask from the mask. You know, had like somebody dressed as Jim Carrey in the mask, and the other and his girlfriend like dressed as like the character like Cameron Diaz played. It was amazing. They did a full blown sort of a video of it. You know. Right, okay, let's just basically put this up on its normal side. Right, that's the little bit of detail done all the way round there, guys. So these bits have been put on. We're going to leave that, we're going to touch, we're going to basically not interfere with it for now. I can turn that off and then go and get my wood burning tool with the thin nib. This will do some scarring and some corruption. Right, so I'm just going to keep it up on the turntable so I can see what I'm doing. Then I can start the handle. Final bit. Woohoo! Well, when I started at Warner Brothers Studio, they still had some of the costumes from like Wonder Woman 1984 back in 29, hang on, beginning of 2020, right? They kept in there. They had that. I had that gold one that she wore with the with like the Mercy wings. And I said to myself, God, I'd love to do that. That's what got me the job in the props department. You know. Because somebody actually saw my cosplay stuff and recommended me, you know, to work. First of all, I basically went up to work on seaweed painting, and they basically told me to go, you know, apply for a job at the props department. So I go back in July. So I basically, you know, got this time to myself. So I'm going to leave this to heat up a bit. Okay. I'm just missing the. Oh shit. Right, that's on. So what we've done is we've done all these little bits down into there, right, and then we're good to go. Well, I showed my friend who's a nurse of her lady Deathwing, right? She loved that bikini breastplate I made. See, she loves this breastplate I made. I'm just going to move this slightly forward. So she loves this breastplate here, right? So it's from a bikini pattern. So and when I basically finish this, when I finish this in about 3 hours time, or what time is it? Another couple of hours, I'm going to get something to eat and play PUBG or Overwatch. Or even Tom Clancy's Division 2. So what we're doing is now, we're just going to basically burn some corruption, you know, in here. I'm just going to move this power supply. The quicker I get this bloody garage turned into a proper home studio, the better. Just got one more thing to wait in 10 days to actually get the money transferred. So what we do is going to basically do a bit of burning in here. But you got to think outside the box about Deathwing, right? Like, he's corrupted. He's like basically, you know, you can imagine. Think of Dante's Peak any volcanic, any film, disaster film resembling volcanoes. And that's where I got my inspiration from. A little bit of corruption there. And what we're going to do, once we put this corruption on and finish it, we can do the handle. This is coming out of my brain. This is this design, putting all this on. This is not a, this is a wood burning tool, so it's not a, this is a wood burning tool, it's not a soldering iron, right? It's almost the same thing. I've got another wood burning tool which has got like a removable different points, you know, but this has got this has got like a point that's ideal for this. Right, just turn that over there, turn that over. So you see, it looks a little bit plain here, so I thought, right, let's tart it up a bit. And of course my photographer, aka cosplayer, right, he's got diabetes he's got diabetes type 2, and of course he's had to self-isolate, and of course he's gone up the priority to actually have his COVID vaccine, and he's already, you know, and I phoned him up and goes, right, you right for like July? He goes, yeah, I've got my second COVID jab. Yeah, you try to get some of your friends to actually help you cosplay, right? And basically they leave you in the lurch. You know, they'll probably be thinking about, you know, oh, where's my next cigarette? Where's my next drink? You know, they leave you in the lurch. Or they want you to go with them to go to the food store or get some merch. You know, on a Saturday down at the MCN, right, the merch area is absolutely packed. If you go, I went on Sunday last time and it was absolutely quiet as hell. It was absolutely brilliant because I get priority tickets. Trouble is, every time I go to merch, I'll probably go to the merch. I buy a load more pop figures of my Overwatch collection. It's going to look great when this is done. Can't wait to get this painted and ready. And I can get Deathwing sorted out. If you're wondering how I actually transport a cosplay, right guys, I'm just going to move this camera here. This here is what I basically transport my cosplay in. Everything goes in it. Right? It's a pop-up box that you have for promoting things. Right? £70. Right? It takes everything. Including my personal stuff, right, all in one go. Saves me having a load of suitcases. And of course, having like sort of polders and all that, particularly like these ones, you know they're going to be safe. You know, 70 quid from like one of these exhibition supplies, right? It's quite deep. Pack everything in bubble wrap, right? And take it on the train. Or if it's a case of take it on the plane, just put a load of cling film around it and a straps and write out a customs declaration and tell them what's in it. And what happened was the company who sold me that that pop-up box, which is on wheels, right? They gave me a discount code, so I could actually sort of say, right, okay, here you go, cosplayers, right? You know, order one of these, right? You get 20% off like the purchase price for one of these pop-up boxes. Saves you taking a load of suitcases. Maybe one day I will go to the States for like a Comic Con. I would love to. Sort of make this part of your annual holiday. Go to the States, you know, go for 2 weeks in the States, right, and take a couple of Comic Cons. No, I don't. Well, if I need to go to Leicester, I usually get the train, and I usually, you know, because there's the underground station is about a 5-minute walk from my house. Right, I've never driven to a con. What I do is I usually stay in a hotel in London, about 2 miles from the venue, from the actual venue they're holding it, right? Because you basically all the hotels around the Comic Con, right? The prices shoot up. So I stay in a hotel about sort of you know within sort of say a train distance, you know, from the hotel. I haven't driven to a con. No. I mean, when I went to Leicester, I took the train. It takes me about an hour by train to get to Leicester, which is like say about 100 miles, you know, north of London. Maybe one day I will go to a con in the States. I would love to, really would. Just for the experience, just to sort of say, right, okay, you know, I don't have any problems with suitcases, you know. So what happens is, when the Comic Con's in the XL, the prices go up in a hotel. Well, the old train, you know, it's no problem. Well, what it is, when I get down to the tube station, right, there's no lifts, right, so I have to actually lug it up about 2 flights of stairs, and then once I'm on the platform, I get to say King's Cross Station, for example, use the lift to get up to street level. It's got wheels on it. I mean, they're okay actually. You know, they're okay. There's no problem with the trains. I tell the hotel every time I book at the hotel, it goes, "Oh, can you basically conveniently have my room not far from the lift, please?" Right, so that's all the corruption done on it. Best I can do without having to basically go OTT. Oh shit! What? Steady. Just a little bit more there. It's a little bit deeper. Perfect. So that's all the corruption we've done. Well, I'd love to, you know, see what happens. You know, really love to go to the States. I'll take it as like an annual holiday. Spend 2 weeks in NYCC or something like that. I'd love to go to BlizzCon as well. Seriously, I would. Right, so that's done, guys. Right, now, moment of truth. The handle. Let's put this Spady back up there because I was moving it out when I did the sanding. Stay there. Okay, right. Let's turn this off. So I don't burn any cables and burn my fingers off. Right, so how are we going to do this? So we've got our sort of bit of PVC pipe. Well, coincidentally, there's a girl up at the esports pub. She was dressed as Diva. I think it was after a Comic Con. No, hold on, Christmas time one year, right? Was it? No, hold on. No, hold on. It was before October. And she went to BlizzCon to, she went over there to actually be like a, sort of keep the audience entertained when they've actually basically got the Masquerade and the Overwatch tournament, the StarCraft tournament and all that, right? And I showed her the photographs of my putrid, right? He said, that is BlizzCon, that's BlizzCon quality. I said, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, that's what I like, you know. Get all this really positive feedback. And I'm still a cosplay noob. Right, so this can come off. Right, we're going to have to make this a little bit shorter. So, let me see now. Okay, so we're going to start from here. And we're going to basically do that baby, do those babies there. Right, marker pen. Ruler. And we've got these little ridges on here. So what we'll do is I've got to basically have this in proportion, to be honest. Okay, we'll basically go for I just wish I had a big I could have actually had it in 2 metre 1200 mil long pipe. But the thing is, sometimes these Comic Cons are a bit fussy about having props over 2 metres high. If I did it 1200, that's going to be well over. So that's 800mm. That would do it. It's better to have as much as I would have to have like a very big giant mace, you know. So I have to have like a lookout, you know, for like a. You've got to tell the organisers that you've got like a prop, like 2 metres plus high. It's a funny rule. Right, we're going to do this 14. We're going to do this 14 first. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut a sheet of foam because I'm going to cut a sheet of basically cut some foam. So we're going to do these little ridges around here, which is going to be like fun to do. Okay, let's take measure. Now that should be outside diameter for 12 centimetres, 120mm circumference. Right, so we're going to get some. What we're going to do? We're going to get some 10mm foam, I should say. Got bloody foam everywhere. Actually, I've got to reorder some. I've got to reorder some more 10mm. I think I'm actually going. Actually, I might even get some more 5mm actually, because I don't want Sophia to suffer to actually have like braces. You know, I'll make her braces and everything else in 5mm and also the face guard. I just want to make sure she's comfortable when she comes to try it on. Now what we're doing with her, with my friend Sophia, the one who's basically going to portray as Lady Deathwing, we're going to get one of her friends from the hospital to do her makeup and look after her. So we've got like one photographer, my cosplay handler, her friend from the hospital will look after her to make sure she's ready for photo shoots. I'm trying to organise it. You know, I tried to go to a Comic Con on my own twice and it didn't work. so bloody well stressed out. I actually travelled on the tube from my house in full cosplay. Same year I actually won the Halloween masquerade at the esports pub. 14 centimetres. That wasn't flush when I basically cut it. I might have to get in. Have I got some more blades on this or what? Sugar. Hell. I'll have to have a look at that. So what we're going to do is just have a look where we're going to go. So we're going to have to basically do this sideways. I think the last time I did this I actually completely covered the whole bloody section with warbler. Boy was that heavy. Yeah, my last mace, which is actually this, for the record, folks, this is the actual mace I'm actually replacing. Right, and believe you me, I can't grip it. It's totally over-engineered. It looks good, but it's bloody heavy, and also the capital, I can't get the clawed hands, which have got like gloves with like the claws on them, to grip this properly, and it's so cumbersome to lie around. So I decided to remake it. You know, I'm going to keep this one. I basically want to hang it up somewhere as a sort of a sample. So that's what I'll replace it with. Because I can't really sort of carry that around for the whole bloody Comic Con, because it will just do me headed. So we've got our basic shape now. I might have to basically modify that. think what we've done is we've literally, hang on a minute, sugar, hang on, shit. I just realised, okay, we've got basically, we've done sort of put too much foam on this, and I just realised that, so we've got, what I'll do is, I'm going to keep that on there, so I know for a fact, just realised, good thing I did that, right, so let's just actually measure this, reboot this. Let's just basically get a little bit of a dribble on there. Right, let's go and get some sandpaper. Okay, let's go get some 240 sandpaper. Because we need to actually rough up the. We need to rough this up a bit because it's smooth, you see. And if you rough it up, it's going to basically be a good key for the glue to actually bond to it without sliding off. Perfect. So our next bit, so we're about to redo that position because we just realised we've got to put the coupler on of the mace head because we're starting from where we're doing this bit at the moment here, this little bit of detail. So this is like the foundation stone. I'm not even going to try and paint this black, you know, with flexible paint. If I can mount this on here, because I'm not going to be basically cutting holes into this pipe. This is the only bit of pipe I've got. It's only about, I think the length is 1200, 2 metre pipe, 32 metre, from your local DIY shop. Will cost you about £4 or something. So it's not expensive. Just going to basically write something as excess glue. Well, a while back we had a cosplayer from well, she's originally from Texas, right? She's originally from Texas, but she now lives in. I think she lives in Maryland now, right? And well, she came over here with her boyfriend 1 year, right? When was it now? 2018. And what happened was, she got to New York, because the thing is, when she goes to like the big comic cons in New York, right? She gets invited, right, and actually pay for everything, you know, hotel, you know, hotel, and I think she only has to. I'm not sure if she has to actually purchase the table, right, to actually for signings and all that, but she does a lot of like panels and all that, you know. NYCC, SDCC, Capsicom, WonderCon, all of the big ones in the States. Anyway, so I know her quite well actually. Right, her name's Annie Mia. Right, so she came over. Right, and what happened was she was supposed to go as like the character out of Tron. Right, in like the latex outfit. Right. What happened was the airline lost her luggage, so had all of her cosplays in it, right? So she had to go in civvies for the first day, right? On the Friday when it opens, it's only like a small Comic Con, right? She had to go in civvies the first day, and on the Saturday her cosplay arrived, right? And realised because it's July in London, it was absolutely hot, so she didn't wear the Tron cosplay, right? Because it's hot. So she ended up wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog one. And in the end, she ended up basically her boyfriend, right, proposed to her in London, right? Had a very nice wedding over, you know, I'm not sure where he came from actually, Justin, but you know, very good people actually. Right, so fourth, so we've got a base. So I'll do a bit of sculpturing here. I'm just going to basically literally try and get some sort of idea of how this is going to work. Right, so. And let's basically leave that to, let's say, as high as that. Because now I've got my sort of reference point on here, I can actually concentrate on actually getting this detail. Right, so. I just don't want it to look flat. See, so we've basically got this, this is a simple pattern, which is I basically come out of my mind, come out of my brain here. Right, I need a new blade. Where the hell's those new blades then? Ah, my god. I think I definitely need a new blade. This is not cutting right in the phone. I had like sort of a few box knives, but I can't find them. I tell you what. Okay, so we've got that bit. Let's just make sure I can try and cut this properly because my rule of thumb is there's always like put a fresh blade in it when you cut the phone because you can actually just ruin it. Right, so that's all right. So I think we might have to do a little bit of sanding. So just basically put this back on here. So this basically double this. Just have to do a bit of sculpturing here. Well, what happens is if you go to small Comic Con, right, and well, I've had people. Some people said to me, "Oh, I've been doing this for 5 years. I haven't got to that sort of like detail. You know, you make us feel bad." He goes, "Well, I don't really." You know, I said, you know, I say to cosplayers, I've only been doing this for like say since what 2017. They don't believe me. You know, they don't believe me. You know, I mean, you know, it's good positive feedback, but you know, I have to convince. He goes, "I'm still a cosplay noob." You know what I mean? So you know, you have to try and convince them. Yeah, you haven't done this before. You know, this is my first time. He goes, "But it's so good. It's so good." He basically like, you know, sort of have like become like envious or jealous. You know, not bitchy, not toxic, but you know, they're sort of like saying, "Good on you." You know, fair play to you. Right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically glue these babies together. So what we're doing now is we're just basically, you know, we're not ruining it as such. So we're basically going to score the the tops of them, cross hatch them like so. So we're just going to stitch those together, going basically literally going to put those in the belt sander for this so we get a nice smooth finish. Excuse me a moment. Perfect. So we've got these two pieces here, and then what I'm going to do is I've got the hot air gun. Heat this up. Right, now what happens is it basically comes up this sort of like cross hatching, scratches, and once we leave that to cool down, we then put contact adhesive on them. It'll soak through and basically give you a bit better bond. I got that from a guy who actually does a lot of YouTube videos, right? And he showed. I mean, the bane of like anything goes. I said to myself once, how the hell am I actually going to attach it to my shoulders? And re-watching YouTube videos of Jessica Negri's Lady Deathwing, I thought, yep, that's the way to do it. Secondary pauldrons, a load of Velcro, load of webbing in buckles. You know. I mean, she actually did her Lady Deathwing in the space of 2 weeks, right, before BlizzCon 2015. And next minute it's like bitches sort of reports of people saying she doesn't make her own cosplays, right? She gets someone to do it. Which is a load of bollocks. She does make them. She does make them. It's a load of crap. You know, think of what you're saying, you know, being bitchy about such a person like her, that she doesn't make her costume. That's a load of shit. You know, bloody rubbish in cosplayers, honest to God. I'm just getting the excess off here. Then they can actually be bonded like so. What better way of using Twitch than actually doing a crafting stream? Even though it's basically like in 5 episodes of like doing one bloody item. I suppose what's happened is because of like lockdown, because there hasn't been any Comic Cons last year, right? You've got all the time in the world to do it, but because, you know, now Comic Cons are coming back on. I don't know what it's like in the States now regarding Comic Cons are basically being advertised to be held, but you know, we make all, you know, everyone's going like sort of like lurking like Billy O on like their costumes, and there's no Comic Con to showcase them to. You know, and I just want to show off Deathwing. Sorry, I'm not, you know, I know it's a bit pedantic about it, but you know, I've done all this work over a year on Deathwing, you know. I just want to show it off. Is that reasonable? Right, this sort of concept of actually doing all this is coming totally out of my brain here, so if it doesn't work, you can blame me. Well, I'm confident it will work. Everything else bloody well has. Right, so what we can do now is get carving. Steady. I need to go and get a bigger sand barrel. That's going to take 2 ages. Okay, let's see if I've got one. It's like, you know, if the time when I sort of like got this house to myself, right, and I'm on my own, right, and I need a roommate, right, I'll actually ask them, goes, right guys, right, ladies and gentlemen, right, you know, you've got a home studio at the bottom of the garden you can use for your cosplay building. Then use like the spare room is your, if you like also like streaming games, that's your streaming room. Right, so we've two pieces of EVA foam and what we've done 10mm high density, and what we've actually created this little detail. Well, I've got Deathwing is finished, but it's the last bit. Putris, I've got a bit more Putris Ebon Blade Death Knighty style. Is still got to be you know, upgraded, and also Lady Deathwing. Right, so that goes there. That's a little bit short. That's a little bit. Let's just maybe shorten this bit here. To the belt sander. To the belt sander. When I was basically saying, how the hell do I take this to a comic con, I thought, and I looked everywhere to try and find a massive big suitcase, and came up with that. Yeah, I could have actually, you know, if you wanted to spend say £1,000 on a Louis Vuitton folding wardrobe, yes, you know, but if you don't have that money to actually do that, you know, you've got to think of a way. Right, that's done. It's just basically, sorry, that's fine. I might have to do a load more of these. I just want to get some depth into this and sort of try and make it a bit more brutal. Can I say that? Yes, I can. Right, let's take that bit off there. Yeah, I mean, I've got a very good supply of EVA foam, right? I think the first time they contacted me, I had a problem with my PayPal account. He goes, "Oh, what are you making?" They asked. He goes, "Oh, I'm making this and such." They do send us photographs. Keep to the right side. Keep to, like, you know, showcase your stuff to your suppliers with your foam or warbler and all that. You know, and it basically pleases them that you're using their material. You know, I mean, there's so many companies around. I think the first time I actually used EVA foam, I actually used those yoga mats you get from an auto shop. No good at all, because they're like got double. They're not smooth both sides. One side got like knobbly bits. So you have to really sand them off. I want to make this real. I've been fussy here. I've been so a fussy idiot. Fussy. Over the top design. I just get on with it. I suppose if I saw a cosplay, like a concept artist cosplay, right? If I set up a Lady Deathwing, I can actually look at that and go, right, you could do it that way. You could actually basically make this breastplate, you know. You can make this breastplate by using a bikini pattern, you know. And my friend Sophie was going there and goes, "What am I going to wear on this?" I suggested you wear like a sort of a strappy sports top, right, crop top, right, and some hot pants, some booty shorts, right, for the rest of it, because like you gotta have the cloak, because the trouble is October, right? I mean, ever since October's Comic Cons have been on, it's been absolutely gorgeous sunshine, warm. It's either that, I've got to go and get like one of those silver foil blankets that they emergency services use for her. I just basically want to make sure Sophia, my friend who's going to be wearing the Lady Deathwing one, is going to be comfortable in it for a whole good 8 hours of Comic Con. Right, so I see how I can get on with those because I've got guys, I'm really going to go get a drink. I'm thirsty as hell because this dust is basically making my throat parched. Be right back. 5 minutes, guys. Right, okay, I'll be back with the coffee. I need my coffee fix, even though it's decaf. Right, so that one's done, so, okay. I might as well basically do the whole lot around this way, because it looks like it's basically coming together actually. Ah, yes, perfect. I might have to basically curve that. Now this helm I made, right, it is easier, right, I made this last year, right, now if I basically go over to here, which I've got, and this is the old one I made a couple of years back, futuristic sculpt mask. Trouble is, it's a pain in the arse to try and fix on, especially basically you want it to take it off, you grab a drink and basically suddenly a photographer goes, can I get a photograph? And then basically try and panic and try and get it on, make sure it stays on without sliding off. So this one here, guys, there you go, I can just about see. I can just about see. That will be subject to another stream anyway to actually get Putrish's one finished. So this was 2 days work on this mask. So there you go. Showing off again, Andy. Yeah, I can actually. Yeah, it's better than the other one. The other one's all right. Problem is, it's painted. Well, to basically stop showing my eyes and my face, I wear balaclava underneath it. Same with this one. You know. Well, you ever try to put like a claw? If I can find them. Well, my friend needs the money, you see. Yeah, that's why. You do it. You can't do it on your own. It's virtually impossible. Small conventions, you can. It's easy. You know, when I went to the anime convention a couple of years back, right, it was a doddle because like what they did was right, you rented a room in the halls of residence, like 60. I think it's about 60 pounds for 2 nights, right? And you got your own little key tag, so it's in the halls of residence at it was held at university because it's like, you know, they're on holiday, and you know, all you do is get out of your halls of residence, walk straight up the road to like the campus, and that's where the Comic Con's in. But something like the XL, the NCN, right? We basically probably, you know, I could actually dress myself, you know, in my hotel room, right? But it's like all the other things when you go to a con that you've got to, you know, make sure, you know, if you've got a drink in your hand, right, and then suddenly a photographer goes, oh, can you have a, you know, can I get a photograph? Then he's there to hand you, put your gloves on, get you ready, get you all set, you know, make sure everything's perfect for the photo shoot or the photos. That's why you need one. A lot of my female cosplayer friends, right, you know, their boyfriends basically help them out. You know, and basically what I do dread is like cosplay malfunctions. As much I would like to take this bottle or a tube of contact adhesive with me, or even like a, you know, if I can find one on the market, I'm sure there are, I'm sure there are cordless hot glue guns, because, you know, even though the Comic Cons do have cosplay repair stations, you know, because it's a bit upsetting that something you've worked hard on, something breaks, you know, something's basically like the glue hasn't put properly, or, you know, webbing's come off. You know, and sometimes I dread taking it out of the craft room, because if there's like a major stuff that's broken, I know I can actually get it repaired or remade. I mean, I might have shown you guys, like, this is the Putris pauldrons I've basically made. This is like, you know, this is like foam. Sorry about that. I've got Velcro that. It's got you know, this is quite light. This is all made out of pure EVA foam from a plate armour base pattern of a pauldron, and just basically adapted to make it, right? And it's very comfortable. You see? This is the new, guys, is the new skull belt I made for Putris. This is very light. I designed it myself. Right, it's got Velcro there, and it just basically slips on top of the road, and you've got little hooks on there. One's for the plague grenade, which I've made. It's got an LED, got green LEDs in it. The other one's the plague flask, so you've got hooks you actually like for your props to carry on it. It's very comfortable. I've tried it out. I did a test photograph, a test fit, I think last summer. But I've really got to get back into actually working more on it. I'm actually in the middle of actually repainting some of the, because at the back of the pole, at the back of the robe I wear, I actually got his spine poking out. I actually customised it. I got some foam spine shapes poking out with like a colour around them, and it's very comfortable. Well, not the first time, because not the first one, because the Poland's are like so over engineered, and you know, a whole lot was covered in Warbler and Instamorph, right, and LEDs are in it as well. Right, so what we're doing is just going to basically scoring these, so then it will give a very nice bond to this. So I'm basically rabbiting on and trying to basically keep people amused. Right, so that's, I need to go and get some. I need to go and get another one of those. I'll keep that one separate, so we've got another 2 made. Cool. Let's just heat these up. So basically open up like the cuts. If you guys are making, if you basically are want to make anything transparent, I'll suggest this. This is 5mm Plasote, right? It's like EVA foam. I use it for the dragon's horns, right? You can actually, you know, if you wanted something that's transparent, right? You know, you can use this, right? It's Plasote foam, right? It's like EVA foam. It's very good, right? It's easier to cut than like high density, so. You know, I use this for actually making transparent, particularly on like Lady Deathwing's polders, because like the dragon's horn's got lights behind the cold, you see, and they've been stained orange. So this is Plasote, it's good stuff. I actually spoke to one of the cosplayers who's doing Lady Deathwing from Ohio, Luna Cosplay her name is, and she told me about them. She's actually making a Lady Deathwing. Right, so that's opened up, cool. Yeah, trouble is with hot glue, you've got to literally try and be quick to actually apply to this. You know, this one you can actually literally, you know, once it's bonded it will stay. I mean, hot glue's okay. I mean, I do use a soldering iron to actually keep the glue hot, you know, to actually put everything in place. I'm doing mass-produced foam smithing here. He says, until they're all balled up. Right, so just spread that across there. And with contact adhesive, you need to evenly spread it across your surface. Now, the other way I could have actually done this detail for the mace is actually use blue modelling insulation foam, right? Does generate quite a lot of dust, or pink insulation foam. Trouble is, that's quite expensive to buy from the builder's merchant. I think it's about £80 for like a small sheet. You know, it wouldn't do enough for like for dragon tools. So I could have actually done 10mm insulation foam, cut it to this shape, and then glued them together, and then sanded them onto the, turned them to profile them on the belt sander, and then probably have to come with a Warbler. But I've got to think about weight. I want this mace to be lightweight, but also strong and robust. Do I literally ask for anything? You know, am I being fussy? Am I being sort of like too engrossed with my own over-the-top creative stuff? I think not. This is just me all over. People say to me, no, you never make a cosplay. It's only when they see the photographs and they're basically like, eat your own bloody words, you clown. Just got to leave that to do its magic. I'll have to do a few more of those as well. So once we've done this, we've got all these little. We're going to basically put a band of like 5mm foam around there and collar. Here, and then basically do all these little spikes, which I might. I'm going to see if I can do that. I might do in like 10mm, shape them onto the Dremel, and then basically, you know, put them at an angle, and then basically do some burn some recesses into the foam, and glue them in. And then they'll basically stay instead of like trying to stick them onto on there. But it's basically we're going to work our way down to like from like the top. Because I put the collar on to make sure, you know, I didn't want that foam all the way up there because otherwise you won't fit the collar on there. Because that's basically comes all in off in one piece. Yeah, all cosplayers need a handler. Good business. That's a good business idea, that is. Rent a cosplay handler for the day. I mean, you know, does a cosplayer really want to queue at the food stand? You know, in a cosplay? You know, easy, just send your cosplay handler to get it. I mean, my friend, he needs some money anyway because he's unemployed. So, you know, he's been unemployed for nearly 18 months. So he needs some money. You know, he's got to pay rent. Now, where are my sort of disembowelling tools? Okay, my scissors. Perfect. Right, so what we do is we're just going to turn this on. Once they're glued to them, we're basically going to profile this on the belt sander so we get a bit more thing, get a bit more sort of like rough detail, and we can actually finally detail them on there. So just basically put this baby on. This is a fun bit of doing this. Maybe I should have done some prep work beforehand, so basically like, you can just see the whole lot being glued on. Sometimes when I'm doing this, like a major build like this, I thought, God, Ben, I could do with like a second pair of hands, you know, like an intern, you know, from my local academy or something. Teach him or her how to actually build stuff, you know. I mean, I've made mistakes in the past in cosplay building. Yeah, that's the only thing, you know. Unless you're wearing a latex catsuit outfit, you're actually portrayed as Catwoman. That could be a real problem for like answering the go to the restroom. Yeah, I've made mistakes in the past, and you know, getting the wrong materials first time out. And I missed that, basically. You know, it took me ages. Practice makes perfect, really. You know, a lot of people, if you do a cosplay, right, that you know, it's your first time. They're not going to say, "Oh, it's shit." You know, they'll say you've done a really good attempt there, right? You know, they're basically you exchange business cards. Go, have a look at my Instagram page. Have a look at my, you know, Etsy page, or you know, or have a look at my Twitch stream. You know, it's a good community. You know, there's a lot of people. There have been some people who have actually dropped out of cosplaying, right, because they found the community's toxic. You know, I thought, what the hell, toxic? You know, is there some sort of bitchiness going on? I mean, I've had a few people saying, oh, you know, oh, you're the Reaper. You're playing Reaper out of Diablo. You know, like a character out of Diablo 3. Goes, no, I'm not. It's a World of Warcraft character. Right, so that's staying on. See, this glue will 24 hours later. 24 hours later, when I get back to this will be absolutely solid stuck on. So I have to go and get some more foam because I want to get cut some more of these, and they're going to go all the way around there. What you should not have done is your cosplay handler running off somewhere and like leaving you in the lurch. Let's just make this. There's a 14 we said. This is the last bit of 10mm I've got. Oh shit! I've got one big sheet of 5mm, which should actually make another breastplate if I wanted to for something else, but I'll have to do some reordering soon. You know, I have to get some more, probably some more 5mm and another sheet of 10mm. But I bought this. I think I bought this in the summer. This has lasted me that long. You know, because I haven't used anything for Sophia's Lady Deathwing, right? Because it's all been 5mm. You know, just because of, for the sake of lightning, being light. And sometimes it's been a case of something's broken really badly on a section like a pauldron, right? And I just can't be asked to actually try and do a full repair. You know. Cut the broken material out and actually basically patch it up. So I ended up basically said, sod this, let's remake it. Just remake it, you know. Then you know sort of like it's going to be perfect this time. You know, once you get the base pole pattern shaped and ready for you, it's just some detailing. This is, I think there's going to be like an episode 6 and 7 of this mace, I reckon. Hang on, shit. Whoa, steady. There's a nasty nick in there. It's going to split apart, so let's just move that across to there. Just realised I see a nasty cut in that section there. I know it's a little bit of this. Warbler's okay, but it does like tendency to make a bit extra weight on you. The joy of actually going to the Comic Con and actually having all these battle scars and bruises around your, you know, like an aching neck or arms, or you know, you know, it's like a sort of like your battle scars. I don't think, I mean, I could, you know, take a chance of actually making about 3 cosplays, right, and actually having one for, like, say, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, right? It's a question of, like, you know, it's the money. I mean, it's no dealie there with the money, but it's like, you know, it's like transportation. It's a pain in the butt. Pain in the butt, though, you know, especially for me. I don't really want to sort of drive all the way to Docklands. You know, you can't get a parking space near to your hotel stuff. You've got to park in the underground car park and actually transport all your cosplay up to your hotel room. And sometimes, like the reception, you know, you've done a reservation. Sometimes you said to them, I want my room, say like on the 1st floor, right? Not to the lift, and found out you're on the fucking 3rd floor. You know, you ever try to get out your hotel room as putrid, like a massive big load of pauldrons, try to get there and basically carry your prop a forsaken manner? And let's go and make some more of these. making sure this is going to basically work out for that. So that one we need to take. Mind you, I did go to a Halloween party in Wembley as Deathwing up at the box park. That was quite fun actually. That was like, you know, I stayed at a hotel just down the road from it. I thought, excellent, you know. Right, so that's basically how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a mass big production of these babies. Okay. Have a look. Why is basically going wrong in here? That's okay. Right, I've got to find my new blades because this box knife is blunt as hell. I'm sure I've got some new blades somewhere. Where did I put them? So I read my drawer, but I've basically cleaned it out. Sugar. Hell. Oh, here we go. Oh, brilliant. Until I find that, let's see if that's better. Right tools for the right job. I mean, these scissors are okay for for trimming. Going through 5mm, it's no problem, but it's you know, the big stuff, it can sort of like be difficult. Oh, that's perfect. You know, I basically had a new blade. Yeah, but the thing is, you get, I mean, you know, you get tourists. I mean, sometimes I'm in London, you know, King's Cross or something like that. The last one I went to in summer 2019. You even get like praise from the hotel staff as well. I mean, once, right, the Halloween party last year, I was just coming out of the reception at Deathwing, right, and a couple from Africa were visiting, you know, were there with their daughter, right, and she says, "Can I get a photograph? Can my daughter have a photograph of you?" She goes, "Yeah, sure, of course you can." And when I was up at the box park, because it was a Halloween party, you know, you're supposed to dress up. I had American tourists there who come from, had American tourists from Los Angeles wanted a photograph with me. It's good though, you know. I'm not trying to base, you know. It's brilliant when you got like sort of like, you know. I'm on YouTube, by the way. MCN 2019 Masquerade October, right? I've got it on. Yeah, it's on YouTube, and I did the masquerade for it. MCN Comic Con October 2019 Masquerade. You have a look at it. I'm actually on there. I think it's about probably about the 3rd or 4th one. Well, when I think the second time I went Comic Con on my own, from my house, I got dressed up, walked down to the tube station, right? Got onto the it's one train that takes you all the way to like Canning Town. We basically got to get onto another train to the XL, and as soon as basically we got into one of like the intermittent stops before it hits the goes underground, load of cosplayers came on. Right, so we've got a load of these now, so that's done. So that's glued on. So that's what we've done so far. There's not much to look at. So that's done. Let's go and glue these babies on, and we can actually basically do some sculpturing. Well, you don't want silence on the streams. You know, you don't want to sort of just listen to me sort of like, you know, moaning and muttering. If I try and keep talking and work at the same time, it's you know, it keeps everyone, hopefully keeps everybody entertained. Right, I'm going to do a massive big production of these babies. Try and speed things up. My friend who did another one, right? She won the 3rd place in the Comic Con in May 28, 2019, right? As Sally Whitemane, right? It's a really good costume, you know. And then I think it was about 1 week before the Comic Con's due to start, right, she was burning the midnight oil, right, at 4 o'clock in the morning to get it finished. Well, I think after one Comic Con in July 2019, I headed back to like the hotel because it was in West London, the event, right? It was like, you know, the London Film and Comic Con. A lot of people pay through the nose to actually go and get the photographs of celebrities such as Charlie Sheen was up there. He actually went past me and said how much he liked the costume. You know, we were just basically walking around. It was just after my first masquerade for the record, up at the London Film and Comic Con. Anyway, so I got back. So I headed back to like the hotel, right? And of course, what happened was big mistake here. My bony, my ninja boots, my ninja sort of slippers I got, which has got the bony foot attachments on, right? I actually kept them on by using the wrong glue. I used Gorilla Glue, right? It's bonded, it's strong, and what happens? It foams up. It looks like expanding foam. Anyway, so what happened was some of it was pinching against my foot, and I had a really nasty sort of like bruise on my other small toe where this thing was pinching. So I actually had to. So I basically went home on the Sunday. I ended up basically unpacking everything in the craft room and literally sanding that glue down, so I don't get that sort of like pinched toe feeling. So I got back to like King's Cross where my hotel was, and thought, right, I ended up getting a free drink from this sort of gourmet burger place just down the road from my hotel. I went into a pub dressed as Putris. And sometimes what happens is when you come out, when like the Comic Con, the XL finishes at 6 in the evening, and everyone's probably either going to the pub, right? They usually have an after-show party, or for example, we were heading over to the esports pub in Caledonia in North London, right? We were heading down to the light railway, right? And there's like shopkeepers, right? All got their cameras out, taking photographs of me as they're going past. It's happened before. You know, I basically got up to this XL really early because I got a priority ticket. I thought, right, I must rest, you know, compose myself a bit, right? Must sort of, you know, you get really stressed out sometimes. I must rest, right? You know, because it's not, you know, because I've got to queue up, and I basically bothered with like people with their camera phones wanting photographs. I mean, we're not even in a venue yet. It's happened before. I've actually stood around in the main foyer where all the coffee shops are, waiting for my cosplay handler, helping some young lady to actually repair her costume. She's trying to get some super glue on it, right? She was like dressed as like a sort of an elf, right? You know, with long hair and ears, and like she had this very delicate sort of warbler stuff on her gown that's coming apart, so we're helping her to repair that, right? And I just basically had a cup of coffee, and I just basically put my, you know, this is what I carry with me for Putris. There we are. That's what I carry for Putris. That banner. Okay, you can see that on the thing. Anyway, so I'm just sitting there. So we're standing there, right? The banner's up in a little stand, right? I've got a metal stand made for it, so it can actually basically be sort of, you know, you don't have to hold it all the time. And I'm basically having a cup of coffee. Next minute, parents are coming over there with the kids, right, getting photographs of me. And I thought, oh, good shit, my cosplayer's hand has not arrived yet because it's probably, you know, he said he was coming, right? So away I go, put the mask on, get ready, get photographs of it. Next minute, another one comes along, another one comes along. I thought, I'll get a coffee. I was going to text my cosplay hand. He's on his way over, and it's a lovely day in October, and I decided, right, I must go outside. It's a gorgeous day, right? And lo and behold, my friend, one who did a Sally White main, right? She came third in the masquerade in May. She was dressed as one of the witches out of my witch. Hang on, Little Witch Academia. cartoon series, right? One of the witches in that. Of course, she's very good at sewing, right? She does a lot. I mean, her latest cosplay she's done, right, is Miss Fortune out of League of Legends. She's got everything, the guns and the works, you know, the three-pointed pirate hat. It looks amazing. And she's the same person that actually made a customised Sally Whitemane skateboard for her. Hang on, so we're right, okay, where are we? Right, we're going to basically glue these together. They are a bit roughly cut, so I'm basically ravishing on again, guys. Right, I think I've basically got another one. I think I've recut one of them. Right, so they're done, they're done, they're done. Okay, so hang on, we'll just stop there, stop right there. I just want to make sure. Right, okay, so we've got another one there, so we've got one more to do. It's not going to make it. I've just got to basically make sure I've got the right quantity of these babies. So they're done, they're done. So that one is basically spare, so we can use that and basically cut a new one. Let's see if I can try and find. Oh, just about perfect. That just basically fits like a glove, man. So that one's that one. Brilliant. That goes. That's that side there. Let's just basically get some more cuts on there. Well, this basically helps it to bond a bit more with the glue. You can do it with hot glue. It actually basically seeps more into like the material and bonds it a little bit more, so it's like it will stay there. And if you need to actually rip it apart, you go basically literally the thing will just break. I remember coming out of Leicester Station after I arrived to go to the anime convention, and I needed to go and get a taxi. So I said, I need to go to the Montford Hall of Residence, please. This is the other side of Leicester itself, and a good thing I selected a people's carrier, you know, to put the cosplay trolley, the trunk that's basically got all my personal stuff. So I've got my laptop rucksack on my back, because basically you can use the Wi-Fi inside the halls of residence, right? You know, not bad though. You basically, you get charged and you actually basically make a mess. Like the only thing is, right, you have to basically shop around to try and find, to get something to eat. I think the Saturday morning of the Comic Con, I ended up basically going to McDonald's for breakfast. It's a little bit more. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got, hang on, let's just have a double check, let's have a count. I've got to make sure this is going to work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll have to see if I need some more around there, because it's like, let's have a look, it's 20 mil. 20 mil because it's two 10 mil things being profiled. Okay. I tried to get one of my friends to give me a hand because he basically didn't have anything to do. It's like when he was living down here. It's when I it's when I had like the just started using this garage as a craft room, and I just basically had like a bit of plywood and an old trestle table, and that was my desk, right? So I didn't have this live streaming at the time. And he put it to work to paint stuff, right? He said it was too demeaning for him because he only knows computers, right? Then of course he's the sort of person that's sort of like, oh, I could do with an Arthur's cosplay. Well, I'm not making it on my own, right? If you help me, right? Right? If I do make it on your own, I'm gonna bloody sting you for the price of commission. And I said it's going to cost you, if you want me to do it, you know, throughout, from top to toe, including like the sword with all the LEDs in it, and probably like the vape, the smoke coming out of it, right? You're talking about £600 to £800, right? And of course, or I'll find someone online. What, an Arthur's cosplay, Lynch King cosplay? That's near impossible. That's got to be commissioned. That's a commission job. It's not a full blown, you know. Not like you basically going down to your local cosplay shop or sort of fancy dress shop and basically dressing up as Deadpool, you know, or Spider-Man. With the masquerade at the LAGC, or sorry, the anime convention in Leicester, I got roped into that. By some kids, right, and also their parents who goes, you ought to enter it, and then of course I didn't do anything, and there's this guy come round with a tablet, goes, you want to enter the masquerade? I said, alright. I couldn't believe I won it for that Saturday though. That's basically really sort of like, really made my day, you know. £30 in your pocket, right, for the Saturday masquerade, right, £30, and free tickets for the next event. If I'd entered on the Sunday, it would have been £100 in your pocket. It's brilliant if you do win the masquerade, especially like the major ones. It's absolutely amazing. When I entered one in the MCN, you had to actually discuss it. With like the judges of how you actually made it. Show like a massive big folder of like your work in progress from like the, you know, for example, you got this, right? You got to start off with this, you know, your concept, right, and then go through like the work in progress for all the different styles and actually explain to you how you actually put it together, right? So basically, they ask you the questions: did you make it yourself? Yes, I did. Practice makes perfect in crafting, to be honest. You know, I'm still learning, so you know, it's, you know, I'm not saying I'm a professional, but you know, if you keep at it, you know, you just enjoy doing it. It's that wonder of the detail I'm doing, and then the painting, and then the final fitting it all together. After I basically do this, then I have to put some varnish onto this. I've got some like Flexel varnish, which basically takes away the tack coat, the tackiness of like flex paint, and it'll basically have a nice gloss to it. As you call it, shinies. Sorry, I'm going on a bit, sorry, I do apologise. Any other questions, guys? You know, always open to like any questions, you know. I decided to do one for my cosplay. My friend who's a nurse, right, Sophia, right, because like she's a nurse, right. She's working hard during this lockdown period, like this COVID pandemic. You know, frontline NHS staff. I only hope the government recognises their work instead of giving like shitty pay rises. Hot glue's okay, but the thing is, this stuff, to be honest, like contact adhesive's alright, but it's blowing off fucking stink. Seriously, it does. Right, so got one more to glue. I'm just going basically. I'm doing like a mass produce detailing scenario here. So basically, going to leave those two go tacky. Got the last one to do, and then basically once it's basically gone like touch dry, I can actually glue them together, and they'll stick. And then after that, I basically do the detailing, and then basically go boom, 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 boom. I should have done this. I should have done a morning's prep on this, but I had other things to do. Sorry, you're looking at me all the time. Beg your pardon. There you go. That's what we've done. So all these little details, you've got it's a base thing just come out of my brain. I even had an artist, a framing company that does all my paintings for me, right? Frames like World of Warcraft paintings, right? And he said to me, "You're on drugs or something." He goes, "Oh, it's very hippie-ish. It's like a picture of a Nexia, in a human form." He goes, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "Well, I probably might have had a headache, and that's probably like the paracetamol or the Nurofen actually kicked in when I was basically doing it." I don't know how cosplay. I don't know how sort of female cosplayers can actually, try and get to the restroom, struggling. I've done it. I've basically gone to the restroom as Deathwing, right? It's basically no trouble at all. Right, so let's just basically see which one's that one's about to go. Brilliant. We have to basically do a bit more trimming off this because that's basically the wrong one. I know, but don't matter. We're going to basically like persevere. We have to trim it off anyway, so let's do it now. Perfect. So, just a square, a sort of rough shape in foam, and we've got Bob's your uncle. Right, so they're done. Just leave those to cure. Let's just basically go to these babies that have been actually done. Basically to the belt sander. To the belt sander. problem. Right, so just turn this over. I'd like to do a bit more of these babies. Let's see. Go back onto the belt sander again. To the belt sander again. To the belt sander. The belt sander is a lot handier to have because you know you can do this massive big load of foams and basically takes pressure off your Dremel. And I'm wearing gloves for a reason because I don't want my skin to be. I don't sort of like take my skin off. If you know what I mean. Noisy sod. Right, so let's have a look. I'll cut some more. And with contact adhesive, you could use a spreader or, well, in this case, a bit of old 10mm foam. Evenly, basically, get this. Where's one I'm using? And with like large areas, I use this old sort of vinyl graphic spreader, you know, squeegee. Hot glue's okay, it can be messy sometimes. Back in a minute, I'll just be right back, guys. I need to go and get another drink. And we are back. That gives the time for that glue to stuck on. Right, so what we've done is we've basically got two panels of EVA foam. Then what we've done is we've actually belt sanded most of it. That one needs a bit of a tidy up there, looks absolutely rubbish. Try to get as brutal as possible on this, and I think I've done it. I'm not sure. I think I've actually basically cracked it. Any preference, you know, hot glue, contact adhesive, I'm not fussed. made too many of these. Shit. Well, it's better to make too many and basically not make less of them. Just basically go point to that. Go and get the other customer because I need to put, we need to actually have the other customer on for like a cat. There we are. So we know certain areas we have to do. Right, so here we are. So let's just basically put that one up there. That's perfect. So chop that off a bit. I don't want to sort of have like complete major balls ups. I'm marking out where everything section goes, so I can actually put sort of like the nominal amount of glue on it. Okay, these two, we're going to thin these down a bit. So, take that bit. We're going to thin these down a bit on the belt sander because it's going to take ages with this level. Right, so I'm going to basically sand these down. I'm just going to go to belt sander, folks. that one's been going on. Food. First state of America. Stars Union, so proud. All of the dancing heads of the merry patriotic crowd. Yeah, tip your hat to the Yankee conquerors. We got nowhere to start better plan. With guns under our pillows, with our first state of America. Yeah, with our first state of America. This is the first state of America. Change anything. The corridors of power, they're an ocean away. We're the first state of America. Yeah, we're the first state of America. Right, okay. One more, I think. Yeah. I think we might be able to make it. I think I'm going to belt sand that down. Make a little bit more room for this one. Ah, brings back memories, this does. Limelight. Limelight nightclub. Right, so we sand this down a bit more. last bit of that section. It's a little, okay, we've got one that's basically like a little bit wide, but I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to sort of try and basically rip that off and basically trim it. So we're basically going to belt sand this down, a bit thinner. I think I should do it. Hopefully. Okay. Just basically trim this. Well, managed to calculate, so I've used everything. It looks a bit okay, so last bit to do. so good. Last bit of this section. In the meantime, let's prep this area because we need to. Sorry, my plaster is a bit of a mess, folks. Right, so the next bit we need to do is that. Okay, it's just basically last one on there. So you need to fill the gaps in. We're going to put some foam colour, I believe, once we're ready to get this done. So it looks a bit brutal. That bit I'm a bit concerned about. Well, I can try and trim it off actually. Let's see if I can try and do that. Oh, hello, that's basically cut. Shit. Now, let's basically rip this off. Do this properly. Basically tidy it up. Perfect. Get the excess glue on here. Right, so that's a bit of a nearly a waste of it, but I managed to actually save it. So it's basically trimmed to like length. Oh, so bloody. Right, so that's the last bit. I had a bit of false start. And then excess glue. Perfect. Right, so let's have a look. So we've got like a very thin, very sort of not too wide colour. Trying to put this in proportion. So we're working our way down. Let's do it 8 centimetres wide and 8 8 centimetres. Let's get some. Let's go and get some 5mm. Let's go and get some 5mm. So 8 centimetres. What? What do we say? 8 centimetres wide. Check. What do is I basically straighten that level edge off there while I've been cut. So 8 centimetres, and then 8 centimetres wide and diameter. So let's just double check. Always measure twice, cut once. That's what I've heard. That's what I basically need to. Okay, that's okay. Let's just right. So we're going to basically make it 13. So we've got some sort of leeway to. So let's just basically do this. So we have, so we hopefully, and we're going to make it 16, just be on the safe side. This is the last bit I'm going to do before I go and get something to eat. So now, okay, we are working on the mace. We are working on. We've done the head. We've done the mace head. Okay. We've done the mace head. We just done this bit. Okay. Right. So let's just basically do a jigsaw. Let's just do a fit. Hang on, that's the wrong bloody coupler. So we just come on, off that. There, and back on. So we've just done that bit now. I'm just going to move the camera up. Oh shit, bloody wires everywhere, man. Okay, so that's what we've done. So we've done this bit. So we've just done the sort of decorated bit under it. Then we're basically doing we're on stage 3. Stage 3, which is like a little band here with all the coals. So we're going to basically do a base of like 5mm foam collar wrapped around here, and then lace this all up with 2mm. And basically put a spike on the cap. So that's what we've done. I'm just very sorry about the camera. So that's so far what we've done. The mace head is done. Just this decorated bit on the handle. So we're doing the handle now. And we basically spent a lot of time belt sanding quite a lot of the stuff. Right, okay, let's just change the sanding head to thinner one. Okay, I'm absolutely filthy dirty. I've got sand I've got Dremel dust in my bloody hair. And I'm not moaning, you know. I'm not whinging about it. You know, it's a way of life, man. Right, go and take that belt. I'll take this one off. So this one's quite a rough one. Right, so I just want to get this collar done. and then we can actually finish up very soon. I'm not going to basically do any more. So we're going to basically go across here because we want to have like a really good gluing bond. Remember, this is not, you know, I was hoping I'd basically finish this, get this completed, this mace completed so it's ready for painting for the next stream, but I think I have to have another session to actually do just this bit here, just do the detail on the collar in bands of 2mm foam to make it look like leather so it's wrapped up, you know, but I'm not basically going to do it tonight because it's now, I've done nearly 4 bloody hours. Gee, my God. 4 friggin' hours. So what we've done is basically we've measured the length of this. I'm just going to turn this baby around. So what we're doing is we've got the foam, the collar. This is going to be like the details of the cold on it. And the only way I can actually wrap it around here, then if I can find my masking tape. Besides, I've got to really let the glue set. So that's going to go, wrap that around there. If I have my masking tape, I'm going to basically secure that and basically keep it straight. Right, okay. I think I need either a clean-up or I need to actually do some bloody housekeeping because every time I do a major crafting session, my craft room becomes like a frigging tip. Right, so I'll take that off there. So I need to actually join that, so I'm just going to make a little mark of where I actually got to cut this. Right, so I'm going to try and make an invisible join on this. It's sometimes never possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically need that to flop round and then just get the hot air gun on. silver gaffer tape. Damn shit. I'm rushing to go. I should not rush, I should not rush. Right, okay. Keep calm, Andy. Keep calm. Right, just leave that to cool down and I can actually glue that into place. I'm just going to take this off because otherwise it's going to get damaged. Ugh. Right, put you over there, out the way. Right. Save this, I've got bloody, it's a right mess in here. Hell's fire. Right, now I can actually take that off, but I will use the tape again to actually keep that right, so that's basically ready to go. Just got to take this, just got to give this a good old sand down to actually give it a good old grip key to it. I'm going to measure back on it, so I'm going to literally get the pen and then circle round there so I can actually pinpoint where I've got to put the glue. And having this clamp to actually take it off the workbench, and so I can actually rotate it around and apply the glue on so it doesn't get all gunked up. And then just do this. Right, okay, I better go, after this guys, I'm going to have to basically log off because I need to go and get some food. And I've got the state of like looking like a bloody coal mine at the moment. I really must tidy this place up. I think I'll basically do that before I go live tomorrow afternoon. This thing of contact adhesive, it gets everywhere. Anyway, besides, I have to leave some just to dry, you know, to actually get solid as a rock. With hot glue, it's no problem. Yeah, no problem. I'll be back on tomorrow around about 2 o'clock UK time. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for lurking. I'm about to finish up anyway, so I just want to do this last bit, then I can actually basically got something that's basically out of the way off my to-do list. Right, just leave that to go in its sort of does its bonding magic. Put you out there. Oh, come on. Right, don't panic, Andy. Just leave that to straighten up. Perfect. Okay, so we are done here, guys. We have started the handle. This is just, this took me ages to do. This has all been like belt sanded and dremeled and heated up, right? So this is going to be like the brutal part of it. So that's going to have like coals all over it, right? Okay. That's going to have coals on it. Then coals and spikes on there. Then all this is going to have like an interlaced like to make it look like leather when we paint it. Right, guys, I have to go. I need to go to get some grub. Thank you very much for lurking and thank you very much for watching. I'll be back on tomorrow round about 2 PM UK time. Have a good evening or good morning or good afternoon wherever you are in the world. So take care of yourselves. Bye for now.